This is the MINI Countryman SE. It literally sounds like I'm driving a spaceship right now. There's a little bit I'm going to tell you about this, other than the noises and the sounds. Stay tuned. Yes, the Countryman, which is MINI's 4-door compact crossover, is now bigger than its predecessors. It's longer and rides higher. It also gets wider wheel arches, which make it look wider. That also means it's more spacious in the interior, which could be a good thing if that's of interest to you. Certainly, it's more modern looking. The MINI Countryman rides on the exact same platform as the BMW X1 and X2. Now, there are two powertrain options. The first is the same 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that comes in the X2 xDrive 28i. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I remembered all of that. It makes 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. The SE is the all-electric version of the MINI Countryman. All electric. That's the model that I'm driving, and power-wise, it's not stingy, getting 313 horsepower and 363 pound-feet of torque. Truly, I'm not disappointed in that department. Thanks to the electric motor's instant torque, you definitely get some quick acceleration off the line, or if you're trying to dodge through traffic. There's pep under your throttle foot, and this Mini feels capable of having a little bit of fun. The ride, however, does not feel remarkable one way or the other, which in some cases is a good thing. I didn't notice anything jarring. Going over potholes or imperfections in the road didn't feel like a major disturbance in the force. All-wheel drive comes standard. In fact, there is no two-wheel drive option. The ALL4 all-wheel drive system works well, keeping you stable in inclement weather. It felt easy to drive, decently composed around corners. Given its upright stance, though, yes, there is body roll present. However, I wasn't disappointed in my driving experience. Range estimated at 246 miles. That's kind of on the low end. They don't have an exact number yet, but what we do know is that it can take a 130 kilowatt DC fast charge. That's its max, which means it will go from 10% to 80% in about 35 minutes. Not too bad. Because this is an EV, yes, it does have regenerative braking, and there are a couple of ways that you can adjust it. You can go into one of the 8 drive modes. Yes, 8 drive modes. They don't always adjust everything, but they do, some of them do adjust the regen, so you can adjust it that way. Or on the shifter here, you can shift it into B mode, which will put you into one-pedal driving. That is aggressive regen, guys. There's absolutely nothing natural feeling about these brakes, but we didn't expect that anyway, because EV. That noise. Safety systems come standard, such as adaptive cruise control, lane assist, and depending on which road you're on, you've got a semi-autonomous function that allows you to drive hands-free. That's an additional option. If you are a person who likes to, I don't know, take a jet ski or some bikes to the desert or the lake, the Countryman can tow up to 3,500 pounds. As far as how it feels in the cabin, because it is basically a little box on wheels, it feels very airy and very light in here. I have tons of headroom. I mean, I could have another head on top of mine here. It's that roomy. The seats are very comfortable, maybe a little bit hard in the sort of the back lumbar bolstering area, but I can also make an adjustment there too. I think this was a previous person's setup. Visibility is terrific. I can see so much of what's around me, lots of windows, so lots of nice views to check out. Overall, I think this is a really pleasant cabin to be in. The one thing that I will say that is a little bit weird is there's a little strap. A strap makes the third spoke of this wheel, and if you do rest your hands down at the bottom of this steering wheel, it's a little uncomfortable. That's a little weird feature. Maybe you'll love it. I don't know. MINI uses reclaimed materials on the seats and to cover the dash. The colors and textures feel innovative and fun. This visually is a very interesting vehicle to be in. Like I said earlier, there are 8 different modes in this car. They call them experiences at MINI, and I think what they're kind of going for is this very immersive environment.
Those include green, vivid, balance, timeless, personal, and trail, which lets you know your pitch and angle and even your latitude and longitude position. But each has unique characteristics, and they don't just hit you with how they look.
They really do achieve a lot of that with sound. I am not particularly a fan of it. There's one sound. Every time you switch to a new experience, it gives you a different sound. And it's just sort of I think what they call it is like a jingle. So there's a different jingle for each one. This is vivid. Let's see. You guys, it all kind of sounds like you're in a nightclub or you're watching a cartoon. It feels a little gimmicky to me. I do really like, though, the sound that you get when you're in, when you go into go-kart mode. Woohoo! Other than that, this thing bings and bongs quite a bit, and it's a little bit of a sensory overload, but you can turn a lot of that stuff off.
The MINI, of course, also has an exterior sound. This is a safety requirement to alert pedestrians that you're coming, and you are not able to turn this one off. Smart.
So the centerpiece of the interior is this 9.4-inch screen, which to me is a little bit of a novelty. And if I'm honest, it kind of looks like one of those old, like, circular round radar screens from like a Bond movie where you like see the like, it's a little, it's cute. It suits the car.
It uses the BMW OS 9 operating system, which works both by touch and by speech. You just say, "Hey MINI," and this little cute dog will help you find things. It can even show you where a charging station is. It works just fine, but the processor feels incredibly slow. Perhaps that's because there is so much information on this one screen that it has to work overtime. But this is the only screen in the car, unless you opt for the head-up display, so it's gotta show you functions like HVAC, speed, your tach, gas gauge, infotainment, literally everything. And that is a lot of information.
The MINI Countryman, both the S and the SE, come in 2 different trim levels, the Classic and the Favored.
More details on both of those to come. Pricing on the MINI Countryman S ALL4, which is the base model, starts at $39,895. That's the non-electric Countryman, which gets the 2-liter turbo mentioned earlier. The SE, that's the electric version, starts at $46,195. The speedier John Cooper Works Countryman, which we already did a video about, has an entry-level cost of $47,895. All of those prices include a $995 destination fee.
If you are in the market for a compact SUV and the MINI Countryman is something that is really appealing to you, you can click on the link above. Kelley Blue Book can help you find a fair purchase price for one.
The MINI can use an optional digital key that you put on your phone. Maybe I'm a bit of a traditionalist, but to me, using phones doesn't seem like something I want to get into. I'd be worried that my phone wasn't fully charged. Anyway, a key fob that has an automatic open feels like it's enough, but there are some customers who would appreciate this option. The MINI Countryman, even though it's bigger than the 2-door, feels youthfully exuberant. It also feels like a car that's far more focused on the interior experience than the actual driving one, which is fine. There are customers out there who just want to get from A to B and back again. This SE, which again is the EV, definitely exhibited fun driving characteristics and has a decent range and charging capabilities.
In the compact SUV segment, you have a ton of choices. If the MINI Countryman is something that appeals to you, if you're looking for something that's maybe a little bit on the cute side, let's call it youthful, there's a ton of tech in here. The EV drives really nicely and it's a solid machine. If this is something that interests you, then definitely put it on your list. As far as EV goes, I think it's definitely on the more playful side of things. I'm very impressed that Mini's kind of come out with this. I'm really curious to see how this does in the EV space, so go check it out.